The Story of Leonidas. The golden sun was setting over Athens, painting the sky in warm shades of orange and purple. In the quiet courtyard of his home, Leonidas sat alone, deep in thought. Ever since spring began, he had come to this spot every evening, staring at the sky, praying to the gods, and hoping for answers. But no matter how much he prayed, his heart still felt empty. Tonight the air was calm, but something felt different, like something big was about to happen. The sound of footsteps broke the silence. Leonidas' father stepped into the courtyard, his face lined with concern. "Leonidas," his father began, "you've been out here every night looking up at the sky. For what? I don't understand, but I'm starting to worry about you." Leonidas didn't look at him. "Father, I look for what I need. A vase with no water has no purpose. And as I sit here, I wonder what fills my heart now." His father frowned. "Ah, the things the young worry about. Your head is a vase, Leonidas, empty of any real understanding." Leonidas turned to him sharply. "But I do understand, Father. I understand that I am empty, not in my mind, but in my heart. I don't understand why the world is so unfair. Am I meant to be alone forever?" His father sighed and crossed his arms. "You're being dramatic, my son. A romantic, yes, but also a fool. Our family is blessed. The gods have smiled upon us. We are wealthy, respected, and proud citizens of Athens. What more could you want?" Leonidas' frustration boiled over. "What good is wealth or status if my heart is empty? I sit here every night praying to the gods, begging them to help me find someone to love." His father's face darkened. "You pray to Eros, don't you?" "Of course," Leonidas said. "The god of love is the only one I speak to. But why doesn't he answer me? Am I not worthy of his blessing?" His father's voice grew serious. "Foolish boy. Eros is not a god to be taken lightly. He is clever and mischievous, and his arrows are both kind and cruel. Do not anger him, for it was his blessing that made your mother notice me long ago. Without him, you would not even exist." Leonidas hesitated. "You really believe that, Father?" "I do," his father said firmly. "And you should too." Leonidas frowned, looking back at the horizon. "I thought I did, but my faith is fading. I must be a fool to think Eros would ever care about me. He's as much a fool as I am. I'm done with him. I'll never pray to him again." His father's face grew stern. "Eros may be many things, but a fool he is not. Your boldness could lead to your downfall, Leonidas. I will pray for you." Without another word, his father left the courtyard, leaving Leonidas alone once more. Anger and frustration brewed inside him. "The world is unfair," he muttered. "What have I done to deserve this? I am like an ant, working endlessly for something that is not mine. I am like a lion, stripped of my mane. The gods treat me like a pawn in their games, and I refuse to accept it." Just then a sudden gust of wind rushed through the courtyard, slamming the windows and doors shut. The air grew heavy, and a glowing figure descended from the sky. Leonidas froze in place, his heart racing. It was Eros, the god of love himself. His golden wings shimmered in the fading light as he landed gracefully in the courtyard. Eros smirked. "Injustice, you say? Leonidas, do you really believe you are cursed?" Leonidas stared in disbelief. "Is this real? Could it truly be the god I've cursed?" Eros raised an eyebrow. "For a mortal man, you seem very confident in your opinions. Every night your cries and curses drown my ears, pulling me from my peaceful rest. And now that I appear before you, you greet me with scorn instead of wonder. Truly, humans are strange creatures." Leonidas clenched his fists. "A creature, am I? I praised you for months, and you call me a creature? Mortal I might be, but I deserve dignity." Eros laughed softly, circling Leonidas. "You mortals are all the same. You act as if your words have the power to bend the will of the gods. No, creature is the wrong word for you. Fool, however, that fits. All mortals are fools, slaves to fate, and you will learn that soon enough. What do you mean? Leonidas demanded. What game are you playing, Eros? Eros's golden eyes gleamed with mischief. Call it boredom if you must, but I find myself too tired to decide the course of your heart. On one hand, I pity you for your suffering. On the other hand, your boldness in cursing me deserves punishment. Leonidas stood tall. Do your worst. No pain could be worse than what I already feel. Eros smiled wickedly. We shall see about that. Tomorrow, at dusk, a guest will come to your home. This person will change your life forever. But whether it will be for better or worse, I will not say. To decide your fate, I leave it to the winds. Leonidas frowned. What do you mean by that? Eros reached for his quiver, drawing a single golden arrow. I will shoot this arrow high above Athens, he explained. If it lands in the east, suffering and sorrow will follow you. But if it lands in the west, your heart will flourish beyond your wildest dreams. Leonidas took a deep breath, his voice steady. A game to decide my destiny? Fine, I accept. Eros raised his bow and fired the arrow into the darkening sky. It soared high into the clouds, disappearing from Leonidas's view. Eros shrugged, a mischievous smile on his lips. Your future now lies in fate's hands. Good night, Leonidas. With that, Eros disappeared into the heavens, leaving Leonidas alone in the courtyard. The night stretched on, and Leonidas stared into the sky, his mind racing. Who would the guest be? Did the arrow land in the east or the west? Would he finally find love, or was he destined for heartbreak? As the stars began to twinkle, Leonidas made a silent vow to face whatever came his way. Tomorrow, at dusk, his life would change forever. Now it's your turn. Students, what happens next? Who is the guest that arrives? Did the arrow land in the east or the west? Does Leonidas find love, or does he face sorrow? You decide how the story ends. Will it be a comedy, a tragedy, or maybe a mix of both? Let your imaginations take over and shape Leonidas' destiny.